Please join me in welcoming Miss Catherine Valente.
Good afternoon. First slide, please. So I will talk about watchdogs under attack, reporting in time of President Duterte. The experiences of my colleagues and other media practitioners raises this question. Yan. Is President Duterte good or bad for press freedom in the Philippines? He peppered his speeches with curses, disregarded traditional politicians' image-building efforts, and talked about his womanizing and his plan to launch a bloody campaign against criminals. He appeared to have violated every norm in the conventional campaign playbook, but he strictly followed one rule: do not strive to be perfect. He boasted about his womanizing, talked about killing criminals, and trash-talk vulnerable institutions like the Church and the United Nations. Duterte didn't have the machinery, so he told his supporters, "You will be my political machinery." And some of his supporters took the role seriously. They religiously shared Duterte's campaign messages, mobbed his critics, and portrayed him as the solution to the ills plaguing the country. Unmistakably, an example of political myth-making. Social media played a key role in Duterte's victory, but it's also become a tool for spreading misinformation and suppressing dissent. Because of their role as watchdog, journalists are among the targets of such online lynching. The Philippines Press Freedom Ranking dropped from 133 last year to 134 out of 180 countries, according to a report by media watchdog Reporters Without Borders. The drop in ranking came in the wake of Duterte's government continued attacks against journalists, which were accompanied by coordinated cyber attacks, according to the media watchdog. So the administration has initiated tax evasion and libel prosecutions against Rappler and has investigated its ownership structure. This move by the president is dangerous to free expression, one of the indicators of a healthy democracy. Thankfully, the president did not make good his promise to ban the private media from covering him, but the two continue to have a love-hate relationship. To be fair for the president, he is very open to answering questions of the journalists, although the media continues to experience hardships decoding some of his messages. Cabinet officials said the president understands the need for transparency in government. For this reason, he gave his cabinet appointees all the leeway to speak to media freely, according to Presidential Communications Secretary Martin Andonar. Duterte has also expressed support for the passage of the Freedom of Information Act. Through Executive Order Number 2, Duterte has made transactions and records in the Executive Department open to public, although some bureaucratic processes hamper the prompt issuance of requested documents. It is not reasonable to say that such tactless rhetoric will not contribute to intellectual conversations. And, of course, any sane media practitioners will not view it as newsworthy. Kayo ba newsworthy? Or ito ba is newsworthy siya para sa inyo? Balita ba yung sinabi ni Duterte na mababaho yung kilikili, ganyan? Kayo ba susulatin nyo ito? Hindi, no? Kayo sulatin nyo. So, hindi naman siguro, kayo po, pero ako po kung sa akin ay hindi siya newsworthy. Hindi naman din siya pasok sa impact, di ba? Sa criteria for newsworthy stories. Prominent nga siya. Perhaps Duterte was offended by Rappler stories. Otherwise, he would have lifted the ban. But this episode has dragged on partly due to the repetitive and profanity-laced attacks of the president. Okay. Ayan yung pwede kong sabihin sa inyo. Not everything prominent and powerful say is worth the time and space of reporting. So doon yun may papasok yung ganitong statement when you cover the speech of the president. News values, not the sensational, not the sexy sound bites that sell, should continue to be the basis in determining what stories should be published. So tandaan nyo yan. Kung magiging journalism ako in the future, for future journalists, there are so many young hopefuls who want to become the future of the Philippine press. Entering journalism schools has encouraged to believe that journalism would give them a higher purpose. There are people I know who are willing to die for a story, hoping that the story will shake the status quo. Journalism is a commitment, and those who heed the call are vulnerable to criticism. I would like to call this journalistic martyrdom. So journalists suffer for the story, hoping that the gospel of accuracy, accountability, and empowerment will spread. So we are faced with ugly realities, but journalists should carry on. Media practitioners should continue to be fair, but critical of the president and administration. Question every move that affects good governance and public safety. Ask the tough questions. Always remain vigilant, patient, and determined. Sabi nga ni Sir Rafi, diba, if you're covering the story, don't risk your life for the sake of a story, but don't pass up the opportunity to tell it. Some sectors may hate us, but there will be people who will still rely on us. So, my last advice is, let's not fail them. Thank you.